In October of 1944, Allied troops were preparing a large-scale invasion of several Japanese-occupied countries, such as Malaysia and the Philippines. Fearing that Japanese-occupied countries would soon be liberated, Japanese Navy commanders were assigned the responsibility of coordinating a counterattack. The counterattack would involve several Japanese merchant ships, each transporting thousands of troops ready to defend Japanese-occupied countries. The merchant ships were intended to land on the beaches of Japanese-occupied countries and drop off all the troops before returning to Japan to pick up more soldiers. A total of 19 Japanese merchant ships, tankers, submarine chasers, and auxiliary gunboats would be gathered for this mission. The 19 ships involved in the operation were Arabia Maru, Chinzei Maru, Daiiku Maru, Daimei Maru, Eiman Maru, Hakushika Maru, Kenei Maru, Kyoei Maru No. 6, Manila Maru, Nichiyu Maru No. 2, Shiranesan Maru, Shinsei Maru, Taikai Maru, Teifu Maru, Chi-21, submarine chaser, Choun Maru, auxiliary gunboat, Hiyodori, torpedo boat, Kazan Maru, auxiliary gunboat, Shiokaze, destroyer. Together, the vessels formed the Taihi Convoy. Although the convoy would set sail together, the vessels were expected to part ways later, each bound for a different destination. On October 17, 1944, the 19 ships departed Manila, bound for either Miri, Malaysia, or Cebu, Philippines. On board each of these ships were thousands of troops bound for the fronts. Unbeknownst to the convoy, however, on October 18, 1944, shortly before 6 a.m., the fleet was spotted by the American submarine USS Bluegill. Bluegill informed other American submarines in the area of her intention of attacking the fleet she had just spotted, before submerging and chasing the convoy underwater. However, by submerging, the submarine's speed decreased, permitting the vessels to flee from Bluegill. Just as Bluegill thought that she would be unable to attack the ships, the convoy unknowingly made a sudden turn towards the submarine. Bluegill immediately seized the moment to attack the ships. At 11:04 a.m., after getting a good fix of the convoy, Bluegill fired 4 torpedoes towards the fleet. 2 out of the 4 torpedoes struck Chinzei Maru. Chinzei Maru sank to the bottom of the South China Sea within just a few minutes. A total of 54 crew members and troops would be lost. The surviving ships of the convoy continued steaming ahead to avoid being attacked as well. However, at 12:08 p.m., after again getting a good fix of the convoy, Bluegill fired more torpedoes towards the fleet. This time, Arabia Maru would be struck by 2 torpedoes. Shortly after being struck by the torpedoes, Arabia Maru capsized onto her side and sank to the bottom of the South China Sea. A total of 1,745 troops and crew members would be lost, including the vessel's commander, Captain Suda. After that, the attacks calmed down. The surviving vessels would continue steaming ahead uneventfully for another 8 hours, believing that the threat had stopped pursuing them. However, little did the fleet know that Bluegill was still chasing the Taihi convoy in secrecy. At 8:15 p.m., Bluegill fired more torpedoes towards the fleet. This time, at least one torpedo struck Hakushika Maru. The torpedo critically damaged Hakushika Maru, sending the vessel to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean within just a few minutes. A total of 1,186 troops and crew members would be lost. Hakushika Maru would be the last ship sunk by Bluegill that day. Despite that, the attacks were not yet over. Later that night, the convoy was spotted by the American submarine USS Raton. Just like Bluegill, Raton pursued the ships in secrecy. At 10:10 p.m., after getting a good fix of the convoy, Raton fired several torpedoes towards the fleet. 2 ships would be struck by the torpedoes, Taikai Maru and Shiranesan Maru. Taikai Maru sank at a rapid rate. A total of 583 troops and crew members would be lost. As for Shiranesan Maru, the ship also sank to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean at a rapid rate. A total of 1,426 troops and crew members would be lost. In the end, a total of 5 ships of the Taihi Convoy would be attacked and sunk on the high seas on October 18, 1944. When added, the number of casualties from these 5 maritime disasters nearly exceeds 5,000. Bluegill and Raton's actions of attacking the Taihi Convoy remains one of the deadliest submarine attacks of the Second World War.